Now, let me get you the other. So let's go and this. Actually, these are the two tables where on the one table you have country-wise target, and on the other side you have a performance actuals. So there are two tables. Let's see that, and then let's observe what sort of relationship we will have. So I'm going to simply import the data here. So this is our third example. We have done one-to-many, one-to-one, and now let's say this is actually many-to-many. So let's see how the many-to-many works. So here we have the table. You see countries are repeating. So day on day, basically this is telling us about the targets. I think so. So we have 360 rows. I'm going to get the another table, then we will study the table first. A right relationship between the tables can significantly impact the calculations, especially when there are a lot of tables you are working with. So this is another one, load. Okay, let's first study this. See that we have the country-wise, again, date on date, sales, and the item shipped. How many items we have shipped, right? And other than that, there is the sales. So this is basically the point is here, looking at this data, these countries are repeating. And there are a lot of countries ideas here. You see, we have all these countries here. Okay, fine. So it starts from 2022, 2020, 2022 to, so we have 2021, yeah, 2022, 2022, 2020. 3 years data we have. So we have the sales and we have the number of items shipped. Okay, fine, cool. And what else we have then? So there's another table which is given to us. There also we have the countries, right? Again, we are repeating the countries, and we have their targets. And also the wrong items we have shipped, which obviously would have cost us, isn't it? So target is available, actual performance is available, number of items shipped available, and out of those, how many wrongly we have shipped, isn't it? Now, if we go in our data modeling, relationship is not created, which is okay. Generally, it gets created, as I said, by default. Now, I want to create a relationship between this country and this country, right? Obviously, now you know, by now, I think you have understood that what is going to happen if we simply go and say, let's just pick the data. If I say that, okay, so I want country, I want to see the country, I'm picking the country from sales, let's say, there's no specific reason. I say that I want the sales and I want also the target. So I want to use two things, which is okay. Now, you see, this is the problem now, isn't it? This is the problem. I will not see the target field because it's coming from the different people. Yes, country is available in the country sales. There's no relationship between these two tables, isn't it? And same way, if I change this country name and I put this country name here, again, the column will remain the same. Then you will not see the sales because it's coming from the different table, right? So this is the challenge, right or not, guys? Yeah. And so let's just quickly go and so for our understanding. And the first thing which I will do, I will just, you have seen the problem now. So I'm just going to put this here, dates. So one table is this, the another table is this. Okay. So we have the same table, the different table, but say for the same process, we want to, so we have the dates, we have the revenue target, and we have this way we can see both the tables very clearly, right? Now, because I want all the information in one table, which I'm not able to do that, I'm not able to fetch. So what I will do, I will say, okay, you country to country, look up for Power BI, right? And now the Power BI will see the cardinality is now many to many. Power BI has detected that. It can't be one to one, you know that. Neither one to many. There's no possibility for that, right? Cross-filtering, it says you can cross-filter the data in both the directions, or you can even filter the data if you want from sales to target or from target to sales, which means if I apply the filters, slicers, and I want that this should not, I want that slicer should always come from the sales, the table, then I can use this single. Right now it's on the board. Both means you can use any slicer. Let's see that. Let's also we'll have a look on that part, right? Right now, see, cardinality is many to many, right? This relationship has this cardinality. This should only be used if it is expected that neither column, continuum and continuum contains unique value. And significantly different behavior of many to many is understood. So they also say that please understand this relationship. It can create a problems, right? Right now, we will just go and say save, and because I say, oh, it's fine. Now see, this is many to many. You see that? It's not one to one. So now looking at the relationship, you will know that it is one to many, or many to one, or one to one, or many to many. One to many and many to one, they both are same, right? So this is a one to one, and this is many to many, and we have the direction here. So one to one, many to many, the relationship we have. Now the moment I go back here, okay, and now I will create, as I said, we will create this visual. So what I will do, I use this country, and I say number of items and number of wrong items, isn't it? You see that I have got the data. Wonderful. You have got the data here, right? See that. This country has no information about the wrong item shape. That's why it's blank, right? For example, if let's see that, let me remove the year, right? Okay, let me sort this data. And let's sort this data also. Okay, now if you see here, this country, China, I'll also remove the year from here. Yeah, you see, this country is here, and this is the sales. So we are talking about here, item shipped. Let me put that as well here. So we have 150 item shipped in this country, but this country is not available here. You can see that. This country is not available here in the another table. So that's why the result is empty. It's very obvious thing. Isn't it? And like, for example, the France, let's have a look. So the France has 230 items. And out of the 230, wrong items, 222. Make sense? Right? So if I just select this, you see that. This is how it is. So it means the information is coming. And this is all happening because of the relationship that we have created. Okay. Now, as I said that many to many relationship, please mark my words. Write it somewhere. Whenever you read articles on Power BI data modeling, we always hear that people always say that don't use the many to many and try to convert that relationship from many to many to one to many because of the several reasons. One is in many to many, the calculation takes a lot of time. The query, the way it works, right? And there's another reason, one more reason I can tell you. Now, you see, for example, this is okay, this table A, this table. Let's say I create here the table, or maybe the slicer I want to create, correct? I want to create a slicer here. Maybe I want to put the slicer on the country. Now, which country will you use? Because if you use this country, then all those countries which are available in the another table and not here, not in this table, they will miss out. Are you getting my point? Like, for example, this is all coming from here, right? Now, for example, see this country called UAE. Do you see this country here? No, you don't see. UAE is not there. Sweden is there, Russia is there. There may be some other countries as well, which, you may find it's not there, right? So this is the first reason. If you want to create the slicer by using this country, see that this country. Now see, slicer starts with France. So these two countries are missing. So in practical world, when you're working with the data, you need every information. Maybe one table does not have all the information, but still you want that when I go and slice and dice my data, at least I should have all the categories, isn't it? And the same thing happens here as well. Here, if you see here in this table, we got the China, right? We got the China from here, the item shipped from here, right? But China has no role here. China, it's missing from here for XYZ reason. We don't know about that, right? We got to know because we have this blank. Similarly, if I create a table where the country name is not coming from here, but it's coming from here, then what will happen? Again, you will have some problems, right? Are you getting my point? So we need, especially in these cases, like, here, these, what do you call, when you put something in the, let's say if you're creating some graph in the x-axis, or for example, in these tables, we need the information which should come from every level. There should not be any missing field. Like if I have this country, okay, right now, because one field is we are using from one table, the second is coming from the another table, so we can see this. But what if I just want to say that, I need the wrong items based on the country? Then what will you do? Right? Suppose what I'm saying. So this is one of the major drawback, that if you have more fields in one table and in the another table, maybe different fields, for example, there are a lot of fields which are different, you will not be able to see that in the many-to-many relationship, right? Now here, if, as I said, that I'm creating, let's say, a visual where I say that, okay, so you know what, I will create here a visual, and this visual will have the country, and then, I'm going to say wrong items, for example, like this. See this. This. What do you see here? Germany, India, USA, France, Russia, UK, all these countries. Are they on? Are we covering all the countries? We are using this country sales, right? Where is the field called, if I go back here, you see, this is the same country coming from the country sales, and this is the same country which is going in the different visual, again from the same table. But here I don't see these missing ones, because they don't have any existence here, and they are completely missing out from here. Now, should I have not the right to know that at least my country, if the country is there, it should still show me what I'm trying to say. It should show here. So that's why the preference is that whenever you go and work with the many-to-many relationships, unless it is very, very important for you, I mean, there's no other way, only then you go and use that. Otherwise, we have to figure it out, that how we can go and get this one-to-many relationship, how we can convert this to a one-to-many relationship. Now you will say one-to-many, okay, let's say we will create it. We will simply go and create a one country table where we have all the countries, isn't it? And then we will go and say that table should filter the data, should create the relationship in this table and this table. So there will be one-to-many from that country. What is the benefit? The benefit is simply this, that when you now go and create the slicer, or, whatever, I mean, all the countries will be there. And in the one-to-many, the calculation also becomes faster. Okay, so these are the things you need to understand. You may create the dashboard like this, you send it to your audience, and, tomorrow they will come back to you and they will tell you that, I don't know, but when the slicer you have created, we have added 10 more countries, they are not showing up here. And then you will go and dig down the things and you realize, oh, this is the problem actually. Then because the countries, those 10 countries are added here, then what will you do? You may go and rework on the same strategy. I mean, you will say that, okay, so let me, instead of this, put the slicer, keep the slicer on this field, right? But then what about those countries which are here and not here? Tomorrow you may have 5 more countries added here. So you keep getting these messages from the team that, again, it has the same problem, again, it has the same problem. And you keep reworking without knowing that this is actually not how the data modeling should be done. So I will simply go and create a table in Excel where I have all these countries. And it's very easy. I will just go and copy this. And I will just go and copy the feeds from here. And I will remove the duplicates, and that's it. Right? One is that option. The usage that maybe I don't have the access to the Excel file, or maybe my data is in text file. I don't want to write these all because these are 150 countries. Using the Power Query also you can do. Right? So if you are watching the Power Query sessions, you know what I'm talking about now. In the Power Query, it's very simple, which is what? Let's go and create. See, the main objective is we need a table which should have unique items so that we can have one table. You should always, whenever you work on the data modeling, in case of many to many, you should always work on the workarounds which can make your data modeling one to many. The reasons I told you, right? So now these are my two tables. Power Query makes this very easy. Don't you worry, right? So how are we going to do that? We will simply go here in the here in this the merge column option, basically not the merge. Sorry, I beg your pardon. It's in the home tab, I guess. Yeah, merge query, append query. Merge is more of a like VLOOKUP that you want to see something in front of this, right? In the Power Query, we can also use the VLOOKUP using this merge query. I want actually append. Append means inserting the data, one data into another. So we will say append query. This is now Power Query thing. You should know this. Learn it. I've already given the access. Append query is new. I want a new query. I don't want everything to be, on this table, I want that another append operation should happen. No, I want these tables should remain as it is. The new query I'm going to create. So this is all we are doing this workaround just to make the one-to-many relationship in my data modeling. So I'm more interested in having the cardinality one-to-many. That works faster, and then I will not have the missing fields problems in my, especially when I take the slicer. Okay, so I say that two tables. Yes, I'm going to pick that. So, okay, so sales target and sales. Yeah, click OK. You can do this in Excel also, as I again said. So you see, it has appended the data, and I'll just select this country name, and I say I don't want anything. I just want country. So remove other columns, isn't it? Once this is done, header is fine for me. I will now go and right click and say that where we have that remove duplicates, right? Duplicates are removed. And this query, obviously, I will use this in Power BI. You must go and rename this. So we'll say that, let's say, and say my country or country list. Okay. So we have this country list. Now the beauty about this query is, especially if you're doing this in the Power Query, that in future, if you have more data entered here in both the tables, in Excel, they are entering or wherever, the data source, this query will automatically refresh. Power Query always has the steps. So it's always going to use the append operation on these two tables. So it means if I have any country here, if I have a new entry here or a new entry here, or in both the tables, this on refresh will always pop up that show me that new country without duplicates, which is very nice, right? So once this is done, that's why I say Power Query plays a very important role in BI. So once I'm done, we should see here, guys, a new table, which is country. Data type, we need not to worry. If it was supposed to be a number or date, I would have always clicked here and make sure that if it is a date, it should be date, or if it is a number, it should not be a text. Then what happens, right? You don't get the date hierarchy in the visuals, and then in the numbers field, if they are entered as a text, then they don't use the aggregation. We can't apply the aggregation functions. Okay. Anyways, that you always, even if you miss out here, then while working with the visuals, you will come to know that this is the problem. So right now, all is well with us. Now here we have all these. So now what I'm going to do, I will go back to my relationship. Now this is, you see that how beautifully it has detected the relationship. Okay, I'll delete this because let me show you. I'll delete this. Okay, so this is basically your table right now, isn't it? Now you will not go and use this many to many. Okay, because you have got now a country unique list. So what you will do, you will drag and drop this here. You will build a relationship which is one to many. Save. And now same thing you will do in this another fact table here, because that table has to be connected with both the tables, because we want the information from both the tables based on what I select in my through my this table country list. So again, it has picked the one to many relationship, right? So we have here this table, right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep this table in this way. Fine. So the information goes from here to here, from here to here. Okay. Whenever you create any visuals, the chart visuals, okay, always remember to use the fields from the table which has one side relationship. Don't use the fields from here. Always use the fields from the table which has one side. So if I need to create more fields which I want in my dashboard, like the country, I will go and create again one more field which can obviously should have a relationship with this table as well as this table. Right now it is not required. Okay, so now what we are going to do, once this relationship is done, we will go and create this table here. Now I have a very simple thing that, I'm just going to use this as a slicer, and you know what is going to happen. You see, you have all the fields here. Now we are happy about it. You have got all the fields thanks to this. So is this going to work on the table? Yes, because this has a relationship between this with this as well as with this. One to many with this, one to many with this. So whenever we use the fields in the slicers, or instead of the slicer, I mean, you want to use something else. That day also you asked me, but we always use the slicer, by the way, right? So it should always come from the table which has a unique field, one-sided relationship, not from the many. Okay, like in this case, now because I'm not going to miss out now any information. Now, if I have created here a visual, let's say, clustered column, let's create this one. So what I will do, I will say, okay, so this is my country, for example. See, I'm using this country, and let's say this is my sales, and this was my target. This is what I want. Do you see that? See this. See this. You have all the list here. So if I put the Germany here, this is always going to work. See, this is always going to work. Okay. So, and of course, now if you think that, these fields which does not have any targets, right? So we are talking about here the targets are blank. You can always keep the filter here. You can always keep this target, say that, here in the target, we should see only the values which are not blank, which are not zero, correct? So that is a different thing. We are not discussing about all that. All I'm talking about is that data modeling, how we should do it. And please remember again, it's not that, that these fields may be there. These fields may be there for this country and this country also, but in the future there may be some other things, that will not parallelly available in both the tables in terms of the country, what I'm saying, right? So from that perspective also, we are basically interested in creating this. So same way, if you now create the data here, let's say this is my data. I use the country from here only, not from here now. Okay. So we have the sales here. We have the target. So I'm going to put the target first. And then again, as I said, item sheet and the wrong item. So this is how and if I click on any this, you see it's working. Right? This is working. The calculation will be faster And also we will not have this while slicing and dicing, we will not have the problem of the missing values. Because if I put the slicer on some other country, there will be some countries which will not be visible. Okay. So if you see in this entire exercise, we were okay with the many to many. But then I told you that this is small table. In big tables, many to many impacts the speed. And not just the speed part, but also those the values which if you use the country in your visual from here, then the countries which are not available here, they won't be visible. So ideally approach is that we should be able to see the entire data. We should be able to see the countries from both the tables, and that can happen only if we go and bridge this gap. So we're going to bring the basically a bridge table. We also call this bridging the tables. Bridging the tables, because you didn't have this table ready-made with you. You have to create this. You have created this to sort out this problem. Which problem? Like, it's now very easy for me to go and get the data. And also, please remember that this also allows you, to focus on, to carry on these the activities, these the steps, like you're creating the slices. It's really easy for us if we know that there is a specific table from where we have to go and drag and drop the fields. Otherwise, what happens? Sometimes because you may have 4 or 5 more tables here. They may also have the same country name. So sometimes you're using another slicer for, a different country name from a different table. In some other slicer, you're using some different, all things, that they go nasty. Okay. So this always make a rule that one-to-many relationship, or even in many-to-many, when you have created that one-to-many by introducing the bridging table, slicing should always happens, whether it is your table visual or any visual, even in this visual, it should always come from the table which has the one side relationship, which starts from the 1. Okay, this will keep your life very easy when you work with the multiple data. Okay, because now you see, you can have one more fact table which can give you some other information, right? At least you are sure now that if I have to create any visual for these labels, here, this is pretty cool. This will always be there. Make sure those tables get connected with this also. That you can do in the Power Query. Okay, so this is how it is. So, so you see, you can go and check these. If I show you this, I've given you the link. Go and read this today. You'll get more information, okay, about the data modeling. Generally, I really don't, tell my students to go to some specific website or a link, But this is really nice. So I'm sharing this with you. So if you see here, this is all about like amateur modeling, transactional database diagram, right? So it has talked about all this thing. Okay, see this. How to design that star schema. I'm going to tell you about this word, don't worry. See, dimension tables. The design of everything in one views table is not flexible. I told you that you can break up the informations. Remember the previous example? Pin code, the city one, right? So, go and read all these things. You will understand more about these things. Okay. So now, the example that we have done, this. And we can always have a discussion. Yes.
Sir, is there any book that you can refer to read about this data modeling in Power BI? I think in one of the videos you suggested a few books.
The link that I've given you, this trainer has a book as well, right? But you see, okay. I don't know. Because see, this is the data modeling is important part, but reading a book must be like, it must be having a lot of pages. It's not like 10 or 15 pages of a book, So I suggest you better go and read the articles, the link that I have pasted here. It's one of the best links, the articles. You will understand all that. And as you progress in your company, when you go and work with the data and you are flooded with that situation where you have 15, 20 data. Till now, I have not gone to that situation. Maximum, I have worked with 6 tables, 6 or 7 tables, I guess. So, I mean, unless you want to be a DBA database administrator, something, I mean, sort of that profile, I suggest you book. Otherwise, the link that I've shared with you, this also has, I mean, he has the books also. And he has also, he regularly updates, keep sending the updates also. You can subscribe to his newsletter as well. Okay, so then on your email, whatever happens in the BI, the new changes or additions will come to know. And he's a brilliant. That's why I'm referring. I really love his articles. So after doing all this, I mean, when you now go and read, it will make a sense to you. Otherwise, of course, initially, because we need the practical also. Okay, so so now, guys, I'm going to use a word called star schema. Star schema. This also one of the favorite questions which can be asked to you. So what do you know about the star schema? Right? See, basically when you create the relationships between tables, right? Now, how the star looks, for example, let me just take you to this. Okay, see this. See, this is how the star schema. This is called the star schema. Here you have all the dimension tables we put outside and the fact table is inside. And it's always advisable to use the dimension table with word. It's your, I mean, that the wish. Okay. So this is useful in a way that, while just looking at the table, it's a dimension table. So dimension table means that there is no as such any business matrix, which will define the way the business is going. Right? Like, for example, if you see here, sales amount is the one, right? Other than there are other fields also. So those sort of things you will find always in the fact. So star schema says that put the fact table at the center of the, this stage, and all the other dimension tables should be put around that. And there has to be one-to-many relationship with that. Now, it does not say, please be informed, write it down. It does not say that it always has to be these 4 tables in this way, because it's a star. So if it is a star, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you actually need 5 tables, isn't it? No, it's not that. Some people think that, sir, I have only 3 tables, then how it can be called a star schema? How I'm going to make this work? I will go and going to get extra 2 tables. No, it is not that. Star schema is just actually the word they are using. But basically in the star schema, what applies that you need to understand. This is also a star schema, right? Sorry, this is not right now, this you can say a star schema, but in the next example, you will be, there will be better the clarity. Basically, the point is the transaction tables, the fact tables that you put, they are always going to have a one-to-many relationship. So this is my dimension table and my dimension. So one dimension table I can have here, one dimension table I can have here, one dimension table I can have here, one dimensional table I can have here also. So basically what we do, we put all the dimension tables outside, and at the center of this, just for our clarity, because this is a rule we should follow. Calculation wise, you can put anywhere. Does not matter, right? But this is, as I said, that these things really help you a lot in managing the data, right? So that is called the star schema. So if in your interview they ask you, so what do you know about the star schema? So basically, star schema means when you connect the dimension tables with the fact table or tables. There can be more tables also. Here we have 2 fact tables. They can be, and there can be more dimension tables, not just 1. You can have 4 dimension tables, right? But the important point is that basically all the fact tables have one-to-many relationship with the dimension table. And why do we do that? Now you understand this is star schema, but why do we do that? because to make the calculations easy. In the background, when the query runs, if it knows it is one to many, it goes in the one direction and it pulls out the information. Obviously, now you are not an API who is going to go and check all the mechanisms, because there is another separate topics also where people can actually check the calculation times as well. They have the softwares and they can explain you that if you go and run this, how much time it is going to take, how the query works. See, this is all very, very in-depth things. As a BI, this analyst, you don't need all that. But you don't need right now, but as you gain the experience, it's always good to take all that information as well. Why not? Okay, so this is basically how the star schema is defined, because there is another schema which is called snowflake schema. Okay, which is called snowflake schema. I have not actually worked with that, but I'll show you what exactly it is. Don't worry, right? So now you will be able to answer the star schema. Go and read as much as you can. The words should come in your mind, when you're speaking, when you're talking with somebody, when you're interviewing. The lack of the words can be the failure, to clear that exam. Though you may have, may have already known each and everything, but because of the shortage of the words, you were not able to explain. Okay, so in this exercise, we brought the country, we created the table, and we then connected that table with the other tables. Okay,